Hi everyone, welcome to Thalmor Radio. I am your host, Thalmor. I'm a dude. Hi. Underlord's coming in later. I'll be talking to him once I go through my material. I actually got some decent amount of stuff to talk about, so that's pretty good. What else? I think that's about it. I'll go ahead. So of course I usually do my show outside. That will not be done today, but thankfully I don't think I have to do it. It's been this way for a while now, but walking around inside my house seems to do just fine, whereas in the past it wouldn't. But now it seems to work. So show might be coming inside now, but that's fine. It's cold. It's really fucking cold. Is it cold? Did it suddenly get cold where you guys are at? It's gotten really cold here. 2 weeks ago, the nights were still pretty warm, and now it's just winter. Now it's just winter. It's winter everywhere all of a sudden. It's in the 30s here. It might be in the 30s here. It's rough. It's raw. I'm spoiling. Okay, pull you up there. Get rid of you. Okay, so let's get into it. So Thalmor Radio broadcasts every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So the question then becomes, what the fuck's going on? It's not Friday, it's Saturday. And so I'll explain what happened. So I was set to do the show last night. And about 7, two things had occurred by 7 o'clock. Number one, I was tired. My sleep is mostly fixed. I'm now going to bed at a reasonable time, waking up at a reasonable time. But unfortunately, that's taking the form of going to bed at like 8 and 9 and getting up at like 3, 4, 5. So I was pretty tired. I actually took a nap just before I started this, by the way. I had Zig on standby to contact me in real life if my alarm didn't wake me up, which thankfully didn't quite come to that. But yeah, I was tired. And number two, one of my family members wasn't doing too well, and that made me. I didn't like that because that just bothered me and distracted me, and I don't think I could have dedicated myself to the show fully. So I messaged Under and was like, "Hey, can we just do this tomorrow?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So Under did me a solid by. Uh-oh, I cut out. Uh-oh. What was the last thing I was saying?
Under did you a solid by?
Under did me a solid by being flexible. And if he couldn't come on tonight, I would have done the show last night, and it would have taken whatever form it took. But thankfully, it didn't come to that. So I went to bed, and everything is fine, and we're doing the show tonight. So that's pretty cool. I didn't cut out because of my internet. I cut out because my thumb slightly moved a few nanometers off the push to talk thing, and that was just enough to kill it, unfortunately. Okay, I think that's your internet then, because I don't think I'm cutting out that much. People were complaining if I was cutting out that much. So yeah, that's what happened. Everything's fine now. We're doing the show. We're doing the thing. We're doing all the things. Complaints and mess with him. You guys have done that before. 180 megabits. I have 69 megabits per second. 69,420 megabytes. So we're doing the show tonight. No, that's good. I bought. So Firewolf had a server called Cromwell Incorporated, and I bought it from him. He approached me and was like, "Hey, I will give you my server for 90 million." And I said, I will buy your server for 50, and you have to boost Thalmoria. And Firewolf accepted my counter offer. So now the server is boosted, which means more emojis, which we still need to do. But also on top of that, I got his server, and I'm going to start funneling people from that server to this server, and then I'm probably just going to delete the whole thing. Cromwell's old server. I mean, not this one. I wouldn't delete. I wouldn't delete the server for no reason. Maybe I would delete the server to hide the evidence, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't for any other reason. Let's see. Oh yeah, so there was some Shifty News Network stuff earlier this week, and Shifty didn't ping people because he didn't want it to feel like he was spamming. So I created a special exclusive Shifty News Network mask, so you guys can be pinged for SNN updates. So who wants? Hi Kev. So who wants the SNN mask? Okay, I imagine a lot of people want it. So let me sit down here and start handing it out to a bunch of people. No prong server. Come on, thing. Work with me here. Okay. Sun Tzu wants it. That's one. Whoops. I accidentally gave Sun Tzu Shifty's mask. Okay. Give it to Yang. Give it to Red Matt. Give it to Firewolf. I just gave it to Grave. Soup. Judas. Oops, come on. There we go. I have a bot do that. That's a good idea, Borg. I need to look into that. Okay. So I just gave it to a bunch of people. We'll probably give it to some others later. Give it to Captain. Okay. Why a tweet screaming? I can start screaming. I can start screaming very violently and aggressively if you want me to. You may not have a Kev mask, Kev. I'll give it to you. Okay. I just gave it to what's the name? Captain. But this was my baby. Yeah, but it's my baby now. And I'm not going to give you a mask because I don't want to give you any power. There's no reason to, and I'm not going to give you a mask out of ceremony. Grandpa. Well, you know what grandpas do? They're boomers. They ruin the economy, so it's fine. All right, you two cut it in half. A boomer mask. Hey, now a boomer mask. Now that's more like it. And I can give it to grumpy people if they ever join. Ooh, I need to. Ooh, that's an idea. Okay, I need to keep that one in the back of my head. Oh, and in doing the mask, I just fucked up my setup. Okay, need to go back and fix it. I'll just need to check on this thing. Those grumpy Sweet Ronnie D said that they had a dude in his late 60s, and that's probably true. They probably do have someone that old. I can buy that very easily.
Yeah, okay. He's listening right now, I think.
Really? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
That's Hillbilly.
Hillbilly? Oh man. Hillbilly, are you ancient? What was the War of 1812 like? Was you there for the War of the Roses? Bloody? Yeah, it probably was bloody. Wars usually are, unfortunately. So let me grab a link real quick here that I have. So I'm going. I refuse to force that song you guys didn't like on you, but I will force this 3-minute video on you. I'm having a writing competition. This video was uploaded earlier this week, and it is so bizarre. Even with context, it's bizarre. But if you don't know anything about these people, it's even crazier. So let me post the video. And I will play it anyways, but there's the video. I just posted it in Thalmor Radio chat. So if you know who those people are, don't say anything. Don't say I don't wanna I want people participating in the writing competition to have to do their own research. So the writing competition goes like this. I pick the winner. Anyone can be a part of the competition. I am announcing the winner next episode, so a week from now, and the winner gets $30 million. Cooking for help? Yeah, you can enlist help. That's fine. I can't actually police that, so yeah, go ahead if you want. Pin the video. Dulu's the video is in the running competition text channel, in I believe it's called info. I believe that's where it is. So who wants to actually? I will ask after I play the video. It's only 3 minutes long. If you don't want to listen, go grab a drink or something. I'm going to play it because it's really something.
Hi, Cole. Thanks for the flowers. They're beautiful. That was very sweet of you. I remember all the cards and letters that you mailed me when you were in college. I still have them, and I still read them. It's so nice to be reminded of your love and support. Thank you very much. I love you.
Very nice. Very nice. Alright. Hey, Cole. Got a little message for you myself. Brother, this is actually Sonichu. Yeah, the one and only prime of the Sonichu species from our sister dimension that's literally right next door to you. Hey, you've been hanging out next to Iron Man. Literally. You've been hanging out with Iron Man and the Avengers and some of the DC heroes and everybody. But aside from that, I gotta tell you, Cole, all the stuff you pulled against Barb over these years, and I've heard about through Mama's memory, because I only just swapped bodies with Mama, like, with Christine, like what, literally 6 months ago today, and I just have so many of my own shares of things and whatnot that I can solely speak to you on her behalf. Got my own problems here, hard grease, yada 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 yada, so forth. It'll alarm me some. I don't have a script. I'm not going on a script, but Cole, I'll give you this props. At least you came through on doing this nice thing for Barb in her later years, right before we're actually going on with the Dimension Merge, where you will literally be able to meet Iron Man, but also just to drive over to Jersey and literally meet Batman. So have fun knowing that, Joseph Cole Smithy. And shoot, Zuzana. That's still a thing. And you know what? I'm just gonna do what Mama did, like, hey, whoop-de-doo for him. Because she did that, and I just felt like I wanted to do that. Hey, you got married without inviting her and Barb. So there's that. Although I will say one thing on behalf of Mama. You're right about Barb on a number of things. And Mama was mistaken. So there's that. She's learned. Barbara yelled at Mama, so there's that. Let you know about that. But that's a whole different kettle of fish. If you feel like you want to talk about this personally, feel free to call or text at pretty much the phone number that's been popularized all over the internet. Alright? Anyway, all the way here in Ruckersville, Virginia, in this dimension 1218, originating from C197, thanks, Cole. Have a good day.
So that's not a bit. That's not a comedy sketch. The people in that video are 100% serious about whatever it is that they're talking about. And so whoever can by next Friday best explain like who those people are, what their relationship is with each other, what a dimension merge is, who's Cole Smithy, like whoever can best explain all that, you will win $30 million. So with all that in mind, who wants to take part in the writing competition? And no, you win 30 million. Actually, yeah, you will win 30 million in real life. I will try. Okay. Let's see, writing competition. This is recorded, Kev. Yes. Yeah. All right. So I think there's like 4 or 5 people in on the writing competition. So I will promote it some more as the week goes on. But yeah, happy figuring out the mystery. It's a funny one. Writing sucks. Yeah, you know what's actually sucks? Yeah, literacy sucks. We should all stop being literate and stop teaching children literacy. We should just go back to speaking and writing like stick figures to communicate. That's what we should do. Okay, let's talk about the game. The Knights Annoyance. Now, I wouldn't say I actually have any kind of problem with the Knights Radiant, but I think they're very antisocial with their approach on the game. Like, and I've talked about this before, but the Knights Radiant don't seem to really participate in the community. I mean, they play the game, and that's fine, but like, they're all on Slack, and their Discord presence is minimal, and for an alliance as big as they are, their forum presence is also minimal. So, on the thread involving a couple people, the Children of the Light and Pantheon, who went to war, and that's almost settled. The dude, I don't remember his name, but there was a TKR guy who is like a year old, and you know he doesn't have that much experience with the game, but he came out and said something like, "Oh well, like there's no CV from like Children of the Light has no CV," or something like that, right? And I told him it's not up to you to decide what's a CV and what isn't. And then, like, I explained to him his whole premise was wrong in the first place because it was actually Pantheon who's escalating it. And his response to me was basically, "Fuck off, I'll just say what I want." Which I thought, okay, typical TKR arrogance. Okay, thank you. It wasn't a gov. It was just a regular dude. Like I said, he's not even like he's only about a year old. He's just a regular member. But it's just annoying to me because, like I said, I perceive TKR to be not a big part of the, like, they don't seem active in the community very much. You're thinking of Cooper? Okay, like, yeah, I see Cooper's name around decently, but like that's kind of like, okay, Adrian, but she was former leader. Benfro, but he's leader. Like, there's a couple TKR names that do come around a lot, but like, I think it should be more. So I don't know, just annoying. We must find. Sure. Can someone unmute Cooper real quick?
Unmuted.
Most of our membership is on Slack, so that's why you don't see them around on Discord. But in terms of like actually contacting with people, I mean, if you're considered like legitimate along Orbis, we talk with you. That's basically how it goes. I mean, I think that's how any FA organization conducts themselves.
Maybe. I mean, and I realized this in hindsight, but the criticism I'm labeling at the Knights Annoyance really applies to most alliances with a lack of what you can call it, a lack of participation. My slight towards TKR is also based on what I perceive to be past arrogance of actions, going back to 2018 with how the block TKR and their friends kept attacking people for no reason, like Insult and like us and the Golden Horde. And so on top of that, with how I perceive that you guys aren't active in the community, and now in this thread in which my allies are fighting Pantheon, one of your guys says, "Oh well, there is no CB," and I tell him you're wrong. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna say what I want anyways." That just is. It makes me want to complain. And I will say right now.
Do you mind linking me?
Sure. It was in first page, second page.
I can tell you in that we do think that like standard alliance policy is to counter for people. I mean, it's Pantheon, so no one really cares, but that doesn't really affect the legitimacy of a CB.
And ultimately, Cooper, I'm just complaining to complain. These aren't super serious criticisms that I'm going to staunchly stand by. I'll still link you the post anyways, but...
But what I will say, though, is that we do have a few members who are pretty active on Discord. I mean, they might not be active like in the servers that you're active in, but we definitely do have a presence where it matters. I mean, you can even see Kev in the chat. Like, we talk with Kev all the time.
Yeah, gotcha. How many members are in TKR right now?
I think we have about 160.
Okay, I thought it was over 100, but I haven't checked in a while.
But I mean, I think there's a difference though between membership activity and, you know, government activity, especially like FA activity. Like we talk with people in embassies and back channels all the time, but you know, having members on Slack is very different because, you know, most of our community isn't on Discord, so it's a different sort of interaction.
Yeah, gotcha. I just posted the link to the post I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really disagree that, I mean, the CB could have been better, but then again, I mean, it's Pantheon, so nobody really cares.
The thing that makes me groan in annoyance is just that, like I said, I thought TKR can be quite arrogant in the past, and I think after Nightfall, you guys really shaped up and still are. But that combined with how I perceive, and you know, could be wrong, but that's how I've perceived it in general, with how you guys aren't very active in the community. And then here's this TKR member saying some nonsense I disagree with. It just makes me go, oh, of course a TKR guy would say that.
Is that your perspective though? Because I mean, if you talk with a lot of people around the community, I don't think that's necessarily an objective statement. Because I mean, we are active where it matters, and you know, in terms of like some of our past mistakes, we've acknowledged them and we've moved past them. I mean, we've paid a lot for them too. I mean, we got rolled 2-3 times in a row, and our FA style, our FA approach is definitely much different than what it was 2 years ago. I mean, I don't think we would be in our position that we are right now if our FA approach was the same. I mean, I'm sure Kev could also tell you a lot because we were in chaos together.
Yeah, I mean, so something I will say about this specific scenario. Can you guys hear me, first of all?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. So something about this specific scenario on how I understand it is Pantheon kept messing up with Children of the Light on other things, and they kept like letting them slide on it. And then on this situation with the counters, Children of the Light like came to Pantheon. They're like, hey, let's clear this up. and Pantheon like immediately went into gunboat diplomacy. Like they immediately like, nope, you're paying for reps, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like they went hard into it. They're like, well, we'd rather talk about it, kind of situation. But they just went hard. They're like, nut up or shut up, kind of thing was what. So Pantheon kept egging it on. So they're like, all right, more or less, like, hey, if you really want to fight, then okay. If you don't want to talk about this, so I mean, that's how I understand it to go. So there's more to it than just and it's hilarious because it's Pantheon. Like no one should really be surprised, but I think there's a little bit more to it than what was just said. So I just wanted to clear that up from how I understand the situation, how it went down.
What were some of the past things Pantheon had done against Children of the Light?
Just different, like, it's nothing like huge, just different raids or whatever, like people raiding inactives or whatever the case may be, like on protectorates or what. Like how I understand it is Lefty has been super, super cool with Pantheon. Like he let things slide a lot. It's like, hey, no big deal. And then he would be super easy to work with and just like, let everything slide. Like Children of the Light under Left Behind has not been aggressive towards these, micro-brained alliances or anything like that. So, I don't know. I think it was just Pantheon came in hot and they wanted to fight. So, like, all right. I think that's understanding on what went down.
Yeah, I was aware that they were really aggressive in diplomatic channels, but I didn't know there was any past things. And of course, if they haven't been the best actors, then I can see why it's easy to be like, okay, fuck this, we're fighting you. Especially when they declare war outright.
I mean, what I will say is that I don't think myself or like Warrior Soul was really aware of the specifics there, and maybe if you guys made that more clear, it would have been easier. But I mean, just from the idea of like expanding a war from a counter, like that's what we don't disagree with. But I mean, with all of the other stuff added in, then yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense, and I'm willing to agree with that.
Right, and well, the thing is, it wasn't the burden of proof wasn't on us because Pantheon was the one that did the declaration of war. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. And Kigaz, even in the thread, Kigaz was like, "Hey, you guys are the one that wanted this," and then Sketchy even said like, "This is what happens when you do gunboat, diplomacy." So I mean, I think the clues were out there for it. But anyway, like at the end of the day, that's kind of what happened, is my understanding. Again, I'm just saying this from an allied alliance, talking with allies, right? But yeah. Anywho, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that like we really care what the result is, anyways, because I mean, like we have some unfinished business with Pantheon regarding something that happened with our protectorate almost a year ago, and then I've heard some disturbing rumors about what goes on inside Pantheon, so I'm really not a fan of them. So I mean, if you guys do roll them, I mean, whatever.
What disturbing rumors?
I mean, I don't really think it's my place to say.
I'm asking you, and you're now an informal guest, so please share what these disturbing rumors are, because they sound interesting.
I mean, it's just, I guess, some inappropriate OOC stuff, but really not my place to forward accusations.
Oh, well, if it's OOC, then never mind then.
Yeah, not in-game stuff.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Well, thanks, Cooper, for coming on and talking some.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to be a little less antisocial in your circles in the future.
Oh, thank you, Cooper. I appreciate it.
But TKR is around. It's just you have to poke us. I guess I'll see you around.
Yeah, sure. All right. So that was that. Let's talk about finding an answer. Oh gosh, what the fuck is even their name? Well, and this is exactly why we have to find an answer to this question, because of this. Okay, we must find an answer to the Northwestern South region of the Far East. That's a stupid fucking name. I can't even figure out how to abbreviate it, because when I think about their name in my head, I forget what the first direction is. So we are all going to agree tonight to call them something different. Not safe for work. Does that work? I think it might work. Hold on. Not say. Where's the F coming from? The far? But I don't know. Compass. I believe in the main chat in politics and world official Discord, someone said that they referred to them as long name, and I liked that one too. Was long name. Long name. Long name derps. I like long name. I like not safe for work. I think both of those pass. Okay, that's a stupid abbreviation. We're not calling them what they want to be called. We're calling them something that works for us. Yeah, long name and not safe for work. I think. Okay, so there you go. That's the official. The court of Thalmoria is in session, and we are now calling them long name and not safe for work. So there we go. Issue has been resolved. This will not go to appeals. This is final. Compass is fine too, but I think the other two are better. I'm glad we could figure this out. What's the next thing? Conspiracy. Okay, so there's been some trouble afoot. There's been some shady handshakes in the dark. Shifty brought up and really brought to the forefront the best that he could the drama that has occurred in the mod team concerning Effie and whatnot. And he made a thread earlier this week, and it got deleted. And the thread itself, I don't think got a whole lot of attention. It wasn't until after it got deleted that people were like, "Whoa, wait a minute, whoa." So he created a second thread, and then that one got locked. And I think Chief Wiggums, I think he made a good case for why it got locked and whatnot. So that was interesting. And I think I understand why they deleted the first thread, but I don't think optics-wise it was a good look. But oh well, I guess. So that was interesting. I don't think Shifty's here. I don't think he can. Yeah, he's not here, so I can't ask him to talk about it. I don't think Epi wants to say anything about it. If he does, I'll unmute him, but I don't think he does. I think he wants to kind of let that lie, and that's fine. Ask Dr. Rush. He didn't. Dr. Rush didn't really seem to want to talk about that much either. Unmute Epi. No, he doesn't want. Epi doesn't want to talk about it, and that's fine. Okay, Hedge disbanding. So it has not happened yet, but when the war between Children of the Light and what's her name, Pantheon, was happening, I was really worried, because as we all know, the Pantheon curse is 100% fatal. Okay, their most recent victim was Terminal Jest. Okay, who was the other alliance that fell to the curse? Was it Nova Rieta? Yeah, Nova whatever. So when I see them post a declaration of war against Children of the Light, my immediate thoughts are, oh gosh. Oh well, first off, it was, yay, Kegos is coming back. But my second thought was, oh no, my allies are going to die. And so don't you know, I very bravely switched to a 5-5-5-3 build, and as swiftly as possible, I myself jumped into the hedge. That sounded, yeah. I meant to say fray, but hedge actually was. I jumped into the hedge to try to protect my allies the best I could, and I actually got a war in. I had to sell. I had 14,000 tanks and 2,100 planes. I sold down to 0 tanks and 1,500 planes. But I managed to barely hit a Pantheon guy. And that's been fun. So, thus far, the curse has not struck Children of the Light. It hasn't struck KT, even though I'm not the only KT member to get involved. I do not think Grumpy Guardian or Air 404 has participated at all. So they will probably be spared. So right now, the only people at risk are KT and Children of the Light. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks if either alliances just completely explode. If some long-standing cheating ring is exposed, or anything else crazy happens. Last global was 5 years. That's nice. And I think that's it. I don't think there's much else to talk about. This is the Politics in the War final call. Anything else happen I need to go over? I don't even know what Grave is referring to. What global war and what game was 5 years? SRD, okay, Hillbilly, for you to bring that up, SRD must be in Grumpy's chats talking about it a lot because he mentioned it on his appearance on the show last week.
He's been mentioning that for several months. It's been a countdown.
Well, if I got a Tesla, I'd probably talk about it a lot too to my internet people.
Me too.
Yeah. On a mobile game. Okay. What game, Grave? What game are you talking about? And once again, Politics in the War, final call. Kingdoms at War. Okay, that's like one of those mobile games I get Facebook ads for all the time. Yeah, I'm getting the under. I just want to talk about the debate and how bad it was.
Do you think that the ARG thing is going to be real? Or
what ARG
noteworthy?
thing? I don't know an ARG thing.
Some people from Swamp, I think, have started. They blitzed ARG earlier today.
Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. How come? Tyrion, what's going on? Spill the tea, Tyrion. I need to know. What did ARG do? Well, I probably know what ARG did, but I want to know the official reason. They won't say out of your swamp. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, good luck beating them up. Okay. Okay, I actually like the idea Arctic measuring alliances by 0 to 60 wars and how long. That's interesting. Yeah. And Zensu, you asked what the great things about Tesla are. Well, they're a cool thing, basically. They're just considered cool. But like they're self-driving and the doors are I don't know, they got a lot they're just cool. That's what it is. They're just cool. Yeah, well, I wish, and I know me saying this will be used as evidence of ongoing collusion between Hedge and Swamp, but I wish Swamp the best in spanking Args' butts. So yeah, they are pretty high tech. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the debate that happened, quote unquote debate, and then I'm going to interview Under. First off, who watched the debate? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Who watched the debate? Yeah, so pretty much everyone did. I had a watch party here about it. Even Kev popped in to talk some. Poor Arctic doesn't know why people are putting 1s and 2s in. It was a complete shit show. I especially, I'm a Trump supporter, but I especially didn't like how he wouldn't let Biden speak. Not because I sympathize with Biden, but because it's really, really bad optics, and I think he made himself look like a buffoon. Lots of pro-Trump Twitter completely disagreed with me, though. They thought it was amazing. I don't know what mindset they have to be saying that, but I wasn't seeing it at all. He probably did have COVID at the time. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, and Trump does have COVID, but he's apparently fine right now, so that's pretty good. What do I think of the Proud Boys comment? Okay, what did he say? It was stand down and stand by. when he said that, like internally, I I just cringed because I knew people were going to interpret that in the worst possible way, and I don't blame them. Stand by. Stand by? How do you spin stand by as not being innocuous? I don't know. Just silly.
This is the same sarcastic.
Oh, well, I don't think he won the presidency just based on that comment, because I don't think so. Yeah, he has denounced white supremacists in the past. Well, I theorized this tonight in the debate, and I'll say it again. I think the reason why he didn't denounce white supremacists is because, okay, so the white supremacists, they're the far right left. Well, the far left are like the Antifa types who they've done a lot of looting, rioting, burning, and whatnot. And the far left are kind of given a pass to these things, and if they get arrested, the local DAs let them go and whatnot. So the far left get a pass to do whatever, and are nominally endorsed and by many people in power. Whereas the far right don't really do anything. I mean, the last really big ticket thing the far right ever did was the Charlottesville rally, right? And that was like 4 years ago. And like that, everyone who participated has basically had their lives ruined. Like many of them had to become Fed agents or Fed enforcers, informants and whatnot. So I think the idea was, why should I condemn the far right if the far left gets a pass? And that makes sense to me. Now, I don't know what Trump's actual reasoning was. That's just speculation on my part. Maybe he'll explain his comment in the future. He probably won't, but I think that's probably what it was about. Virginia State House storming. What was that? Is that the Charlottesville thing? And I'll go ahead. Yeah, it's about time we get into talking with Underlord.
Hello there.
You're unmuted. Hi, how you doing?
Fine, you?
I'm tired. I'm probably gonna go to bed as soon as this is over with. But I'm doing pretty well.
I know you could have like said any reason. You could have said you're like getting drunk with your friends, getting laid. You didn't have to say that. And no one's gonna call you out on that.
I got super laid last night with 3 chicks. One was a dwarf.
There you go.
One was missing an arm, and the other one had an IQ of 65. So there you go. That's what I did. There, is that better?
Could have gone anywhere with that, and that's where you went. Okay.
I thought you were with Prefontaine.
Shit.
That was after the 3 Stooges, yeah.
Jack is probably the most correct person in this lobby.
Yeah. Like, people will talk about girls and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I see, okay, Epi has this person in his profile picture with long hair, and I don't know, that's weird to me. Like, long hair? Who has long hair?
We call those I think they're called femboys. They're guys that just don't look like guys much.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wait, so what does someone who isn't a guy look like? Like I said, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Like, people
just think of someone really. Think of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's whatever you think of the opposite of Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's that.
Oh, like short and not very strong.
Yes.
And okay, gotcha.
And maybe instead of like bulging arms, they have like bulging chests. Maybe. I don't know what it looked like either, since they don't exist. But
okay, well, the problem is that like short and not very strong. That's describing me more than anything else. So I don't know about the direction this is going in. Oh man. So.
Yeah, I don't think that's why I'm here, is it?
Okay. Well, I have thought about how I want to do this. I still haven't concluded. So I'll just ask you: do you want to just jump right into it? Do you want to talk some in general? I mean, what do you want to do here?
I don't give a shit. Up to you.
Okay. Well, here. Okay, we'll get right into it. But first off, just talk about who you are a little bit. Who are you? What was your history before a year ago?
I'm no one important. I don't know why anyone would know me. I've been, we'll say, second in command of an alliance that has existed in this game since 2013, and before that, I think 2007, January 2007. Just alliance that no one really knows. Yeah, I'm also a mod somehow. That was interesting. Funny story. I don't know if we have time to get into it.
We do have time to get into it.
Okay. Well, back when Discord was brand new and fancy and we're all on IRC, I was one of the first people to UPN was one of the first alliances to have a Discord because I thought it was a great idea since we didn't use IRC because it was too complicated for people. They didn't understand how to type in shit, I guess. I don't know. Discord is nice, user friendly. And so we did that, and then all of a sudden all the alliances started coming over. I think BK was this, I don't know, BK was first or second, but they had the first public lobby. UPN, we were private until basically everyone was public and here, and we figured fuck it. That was my call actually. The Panji, the leader, thought we should be open, and I didn't like that much. I prefer the privacy of a private lobby server. Anyway, so I was fairly well known, and I don't know why I was helping random alliances set up Discord. Basic shit like turn off text-to-speak permissions, turn off at everyone pings. The fact that servers still leave those on is fucking nightmare. I don't understand. It's basic server shit 101. Turn off at everyone pings. Micros cannot be helped. Anyway, so eventually, Mad Max here. I don't know what SRD sounds like. We're both old. Yeah. I'm actually SRD's multi. Yeah, you got me. Mad Max
think
here.
You two do sound very similar, to be honest.
Do I actually?
I would say so.
Huh.
I could just be stupid and wrong, but I don't know.
Fair enough. I've never heard SRD. Maybe it does sound cooler. Anyway, so Mad Max actually created the main PNW server, but it kind of just sat there doing nothing. Because Alex didn't want to make one. He thought Discord was dumb. We had an IRC for the public. We didn't need no stinking Discord. It's probably it's like Skype. Everyone's gonna forget about it. Anyway, Mad Max basically created it and gave it to him, and he didn't set it up, and Alex didn't set it up, and Alex told me about it. I'm like, well, I've created 2-3 Discords. I'll set it up for you. And he's like, okay. So I did that for him. Then he took away my permissions and made it public. There were absolutely 0 moderators. And the second it went public, everything went to shit. Everyone started shit posting all that. And I basically DM'd him saying, hey, everything's going to shit even worse than IRC. Because IRC at the time, even now, no one ever fucking moderated it. No one gave a shit. It's the IRC. There's maybe 10 active users on the main server at any given point. And, So
yeah,
it went to shit, and I DM'd him hey, you know what? You should make me and Rush, for example, mods. And, it's just for a night, just to keep everything in check. And he did it, and then he never removed the permissions. So I'm still a mod somehow. So that was fun. Yeah. So yep, so that's literally how I did it. I just set up the Discord, got my permissions taken away, and then asked for it back. And he's like, sure, why not? we'll see what happens.
Well, that certainly does sound like Alex's MO, though. That you're only a mod because he just hasn't thought to change it.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. So Lossy, I think, is a good mod. I'm not gonna say anything bad. I think the entire moderator team are very good. I have nothing bad to say, and if I did, I certainly would not say it here. Sorry, Epi. Not touching any of that drama with a 20-foot pole.
I won't ask you to touch it. I will only ask you to orbit close to it. In your own words, can you describe what the drama is?
I really don't want to.
That's okay. I'll respect your boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of in bad taste, I feel, for moderators to discuss moderator issues. It's not really scared. It's just I got to be professional, right? Because if there's one thing that's synonymous with Underlord GC, it's professional. Wow, nothing. Okay.
Okay. So that was a pretty good history to yourself. You're a mod. You explained why you're a mod. So I guess the question is now, why is there so much infamy around you? Have you ever played Victoria 2?
Yes, I have. It's one of the better Paradox games.
I agree 100%. If you were a nation in Victoria 2, you would have an infamy of about 24.72%.
No, I think I'm over. I think I'm over it. I think I have the containment census bail on me. Cacus belly. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce words.
You know what? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
wrong. You do.
I kind of built it up. I built it up to like maybe 300, and the decay is, really slow, like 1 a month. So it's gonna be a while, I think.
Yep. So, so why does everyone hate you?
Well, there's a number of reasons. I think the biggest, well, there's a few issues that are not. Okay, let's talk overall. I was in IQ, Coalition. Yeah, also that. Yeah, but we'll get to there. And yeah, I did some things, and I wasn't. Well, some of the things people say about me are not true. Some of them are. Yes, we'll get there. And I think it's also virtue of the fact that I'm basically the last one. George leaked, stole 10 billion, Sphinx switched sides, and everyone else quit. So there's that. Yeah, during the negotiations, I was a bit of a dick, I will admit. No, here's the thing. Epi wasn't really he was minor. I'm not trying to say it to like be a dick to him, but like the leaks didn't include him at all. Yeah, but being a dick is a bit too much sometimes. Oh no, you weren't involved in anything high. Like the George leak was basically most of the high level. I admittedly don't know like what Camelot was doing near the end of the war, because they were certainly a lot closer to IQ than I ever was. The only reason I was allowed in IQ never really liked me, and the only reason I was even there was because the Covenant was such a vital part of the war that they couldn't really afford to alienate us. So that was fun because I got to be a dick to IQ, and they couldn't do anything about it.
You enjoyed being a dick to IQ?
Yeah. They here's the thing with IQ. They are very boring and isolationist, and they're not super controlling. There's been alliances that are more controlling than them, but they don't like people like me who kind of just do whatever I want and just ignore things that they want to do. Like during Nightfall, they were very annoyed that I figured out. I wouldn't say I figured out. It wasn't really a secret because they're not very well. Some people are good at keeping OPSEC. BK is not one of those alliances. So during Nightfall, for example, right before COS raided me because I didn't have a proper protectorate over me. It's a long story. I was creating like a recruiting alliance because I didn't like UPN recruiting. And so there was a bit of bad blood between me and Ripper. So I kind of sort of wasn't supposed to know, but did know that they were plotting to roll TKR at the time, and COS was in there basically with them. So I kind of sort of went to TKR and asked them, "Hey, would you like to help me roll COS?" They knew at the time there was a coalition, but they thought that KT was the sponsors. I told them no, it wasn't. Anyway, so IQ found out about that like in the middle of Nightfall, and they weren't very happy about it for obvious reasons that I kind of tried fucking them. But at the same time, they didn't also help me fuck over COS for revenge, so it's kind of on them. Anyway, so yep. Oh, also the Rose Protectorate. They were really pissy about that too. Yeah. They're just really pissy in general.
So, I mean, ultimately, what did you think of IQ?
They are really good at stalling wars, not very good at winning them, which is why I was never really. I liked IQ when they formed because at that time we're approaching essentially the same situation that happened right around IQ's formation, where just 80% of the game's score was concentrated in one block, EMC. And IQ was essentially formed to stop that. They essentially formed a block to make wars unfun and to stop the constant beatdowns. And at the time, it was a very noble goal, but power corrupts, and they slowly started turning into what they hated, and their justification was, well, they did it to us, therefore we're justified. Like Rock, for example, like half my conversations with him boiled down to they're complaining about us doing X, but they did X back during this time frame. Which, yeah, I get it. It's frustrating for people to be hypocrites, but at some point you gotta move on. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, like, I'm known for holding grudges, but I do it because I need an excuse for wars generally. Like, if I want to start a war, I can't just go, wow, I just want to start a war. No, you have to have a CB. So, and IQ just used all these grudges as CBs, but they internalized the issues, whereas I don't really generally care. I just use the grudges as like a bounce off board, like a starting point of, oh yeah, they did this to us. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we did it to them? As opposed to, they did this to us, we have to get revenge kind of deal. Although I do revenge from time to time. That is also something I do.
Would you fight a war with someone so that you wouldn't have to fight them 10 years from now?
No. So the disbanding things, I admit I should have been more aware, but it started off as a joke, really, because it was so ludicrous that it's not something I really believed. But by the time like they really got deep and just started repeating the rhetoric, I should have had alarm bells going off in my head, and I just didn't really understand it, because you have to have enemies to fight in order to play a game. So making people delete didn't ever really cross my mind as a realistic goal, but it was apparently less of a joke to IQ than I really gave them credit for.
So I find it interesting that it sounds like just what you said the past 10 minutes. It sounds like you had some disagreements with IQ. But from my idea, and tell me if I'm wrong, it always seemed like UPN was staunchly on their side in everything. So I think there's a bit of a disconnect there.
It's basically, I don't think. Well, basically, we are in the war because of Acadia, and second, because I don't think switching sides in a war ever works out. Like, TCW kind of tried it, and that didn't really work out for them. And Sinks, I know, was trying, I think, as early as December, like bugging me, saying, hey, we should leave. And I told him no, because we'll piss off IQ. The other side will just see it as like nothing worthwhile, and we'll get pissed. We're already so far deep into it that switching sides will achieve nothing besides piss off the last people that like are okay with us. And I just saw it as suicide. I didn't really at that point see a way out that didn't get us rolled. I don't have the logs because I'm lazy and I don't feel like going through them. Maybe it was November. I don't actually remember exactly. But yes, Sphinx approached me, and I basically told him that it was suicide and would get us even further isolated. And if we're lucky, only rolled. Because, what is it? I think Carthage, OWR had been rolled. Frontier Records, they split up, and IQ tried very hard to get them back in the war, and they only got half of them because TS protected it. The other half, I think, the clan people. Yeah, NG basically was very pro IQ, and he was basically not super keen on anything. And it's really kind of sad because I always thought he liked UPN more than IQ, and apparently I was wrong about that. And that really kind of hurt, especially like when he posted the disbandment thread. That honestly kind of broke me a bit.
So where do you stand with the bans that were issued against NPL? Like, do you think they cheated and Alex, it made sense? Do you think they were innocent? Is there a more nuanced take?
I think that they did absolutely have manual, but according to, because Rock posted basically the entire logs of his conversation with Alex because he was pissed about it, and they claimed that they actually had stopped it a while ago. And Alex also, what is it? I think he, if I remember correctly, actually created a nation and tried infiltrating Guinea Pig, but he never actually got copies of the manual. There was evidence that they did do it at one point, and that's probably justified. But at the time, he claimed that they were still doing it. But I don't really know much about the specifics because I know what Alex posted and what the logs posted, and I think NPO are not innocent. Yeah, I think Alex should have done something earlier about it because by the time he acted, I think the damage was mostly done.
Sphinx is there.
Also, I do. NPO basically denied they took anything, and that it was just like a bank and there was only minimal transfers. And the thing was, like, at first I was siding with IQ, but as more I thought about it, I realized, IQ started giving out or offering me in basically loans that wouldn't have to be paid till the end of the war, and I didn't accept them, obviously, because I wanted to be a big boy alliance who just paid for our stuff, because we're whales. We don't accept free things, which admittedly was a very stupid mistake because they deleted, so I wouldn't have had to pay any of those loans for resources back. So there's that. But I never really connected it with the guinea pig thing at the time, which was a severe lapse of judgment on my part. And yeah. And I will say that I did watch, because I told you before I came on that I've literally never watched your show before, or really any show, which admittedly I remember that isn't entirely true. During the war, I watched I think 30 minutes or so of Rock being interviewed by someone. It was very boring. That's probably why I forgot. Anyway, so like when you linked the episode from, I think, your conversation with Sphinx and Sketchy and the other guy whose name is escaping me. Tarak, yes. So I, as a moderator, didn't actually know that I knew some BK guys did that because as a moderator, that was a issue in the moderator chat because wow, I'm trying to like avoid getting too specific without like talking about mod issues. But yes, a number of BK people are banned. I know a number of MPO people are banned, and Goons was, as far as I know, the main culprit, and BK, I never knew that they ordered their members, and I don't actually know if, I'm trying to word this without saying anything that's I'm not supposed to say. NPO members did get some of them did get banned. I can say that. But as far as I know, NPO was not part of it, and I don't think anything. I'm trying really hard not to say anything about like internal mod shit because it's not appropriate. So I'm trying to mesh with stuff that I do know and can say without like no, it's not selling out. It's that I don't want to discuss internal moderator shit because I don't want to get in trouble for it because it is generally considered not good to do. Like the epi thing, I don't want to talk about that because that is bad and goes against like our policies. That
like, okay, fine, don't talk about epi stuff.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
we're talking about people who actively set out of character to destroy the game because of moderation, that's of interest to the whole community. I think it's fine to share that some because that's not.
I will say that I know MPO members were banned, but as far as I know, there was no. Most of the issues came from goons. That much I know. I know several BK members were also involved and banned, and NPO members were banned as well, but it wasn't to the degree that BK and Goons members were. Goons was legitimately the worst. And honestly, no one really liked them. Not even IQ. The only reason they signed them is because they were scared to death that TKR would sign them and kill them. Because Goons were a bunch of like invaders that fought well, tiered well, and the only reason, again, IQ signed them was because TKR they were worried that TKR was going to sign them. And it was really annoying that, yeah, there was almost a treaty. And they were just kind of awful in general. It's really bad because there was a few there that are okay. And it was usually the Gov were generally okay with keeping people in line as far as I could tell. But the actual members of Goons were really fucking assholes. Yeah, Jazz was pretty chill. Jazz is fucking hilarious because he was actually in Africa Corps before he took over as Goons, before Goons came over. And apparently he was pretending to be a weeb the entire time. And so apparently he took over Goons, and I think actually Sphinx told me about it. He actually asked about it, and he said, "Oh no, he never actually liked anime at all. He was just doing it for the memes or something like that," which I thought was fucking hilarious. I mean, I would never do that because that's too low even for me to pretend to like anime. But yeah, it was. I think it was pretty funny to do something like that. And then the worst part is he spent the rest of the war really trying to get Goons to ignore Africa Corps because he was in Africa Corps and he kind of liked them. Yeah, it was, like Sphinx said, it was really fucking hilarious. I'm actually sad I never talked to him about it, so I didn't find out about it until really later. Yeah, so yeah, like Sphinx is talking about it. Guess I don't have to go into it, but yeah, Goons really hated Africa Corps because that was the name of Rommel's army, and they felt they were being too openly fash or whatever. So Jazz spent most of his time trying to get Goons to ignore them, and that didn't really work because I guess Goons were very bad about following orders, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that Epi. Like the second Sheepy, I love that. That was one of the best things Sheepy ever did. So Thalmor, you know what Epi's talking about, right? The AK
Not
spawning
top of my head.
resources?
Nope.
Okay, so do you remember, I think it was ARG, they made a report about a race condition where you could, if two people withdrew from a bank at the same time, it would withdraw both, but only record one transaction. So it'd essentially double it. And so, yeah, I don't remember if that's true, but I remember Sheepy actually, if I remember, actually announced it and said, yeah, so don't do this. I'm just saying that this is a glitch. And there's definitely no way for me to find out if you do it. So here's how it works. Don't do it because there's no way for me to find out. And it's very bad. And that and AK and several other people did it. And it was so fucking obvious as a honeypot. And they still fucking did it. And they got banned for it. I thought that was hilarious. He like waited 2 weeks. He's like, okay, so these people did it. They're now banned. Oh, was it a similar bug? Okay. I don't know for sure, but I remember that one for sure. And I think someone in AK, actually did that. It was something with an S maybe? I don't remember. There was a lot of funny things that happened like that where people
Alex honeypotting cheaters like that is actually pretty based.
Yeah, I think that was the best thing he ever did. I thought it was hilarious. I actually, you know what? I think Epi might be right. Maybe AK was. I could have sworn AK did it. So maybe it was similar, but I could have sworn that there was a big name alliance that had that issue and someone was banned from it.
All right,
maybe Epi remembers it better. Wait,
your server unmuted, Epi.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, no. So it was AK. So it was Camelot and our allies that figured out you could send two bank transactions at the exact same second, and they would both appear. So it was similar to the Nova bug, slightly different. And basically, we said to the coalition, like, has anyone been doing this? Because this could go back a while, right? Because Troy has stats and shit. And so we said we'll report it to Alex already, or someone else has. Just keep an eye out for it. And within 1 minute of this going through, right, Kai had messaged his government, because none of them were in this channel, told them how to do it. The government had created a new bank, did it, spawned 4 billion in cash, and then like pretended not to know anything. So we reported them for doing it. Sheepy caught them, and then he said, "Well, I don't think it was on purpose because like it happened at this time and so forth." We were like, "Well, that actually lines up with our timestamps when we told them about it." So, do you want to come into the coalition sub and you can see? And he was like, "No, I'm good."
And okay, so maybe that happened too, but I swear to God, I remember him like announcing it, and it was basically a honeypot. I 100% certain he also did it like as an announcement. Maybe AK did it at the same time or something.
He did that in July, and then the AK was in like October. So there were different bugs, but it was it's pretty memes.
I mean, I guess race conditions are all the same when you get down to it. Basically the same kind of bug.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder, do you think you could race condition trades like that? Like, let's say someone has a really low offer or something, or just little below. Do you think you could have two people click on it at the same time and have a race condition, or do you think Sheepy has already fixed something like that?
That's how Nova did that.
Well, that's how Nova did that. Okay. Okay, so
yeah.
I'm a year behind Nova, a year and a half actually. Damn. Yeah. Okay, so here am I thinking, did I think of another bug that could exist? No, turns out I'm slow on the uptake. This is why no one cheats with me, because I'm too slow. I never think of things before.
The only thing you couldn't do that to, there's only one thing, is baseball. The only one.
That is
I want to go back several dozen steps. Close to the beginning of the conversation, you said you've been accused of things which are false. Can you talk about what some of those things are?
All right, so I kind of went over one of them earlier, and that was wanting people to delete. I never wanted that because I will admit that the reps terms were kind of bullshit. Greed is my sin, not wrath, and I again never people deleting would interfere with me getting money. And the logs leaked, and I've been challenging people to basically post logs where I've said that I wanted people to delete. And the closest anyone ever did was me making fun of BK for quoting Sketchy's forum post earlier in the war. And the quote was, "So BK wants people to delete now?" And that is because that's basically whenever I say that, that's what some TKR member posts. So, and which one was it? I think it was Alistair that posted that the last time I asked. But that, as far as I know, is the only thing even close to that. I have no idea what they're talking about. Grave, what are you talking about?
I think he just means in general, like you raid someone, they delete.
Oh.
Laughing about it is fun.
I see. Yeah,
I agree with that too.
Yeah. I remember one time, oh fuck, this was like 5 years ago. some pixel hugger in Cornerstone deleted because he would always flee to VM. And so do you remember Zebras?
Yeah, I remember Zebras.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, LPS. That was his name.
Yes,
yeah, that was his initials. LPS. Yes. Now I remember his name. Yeah, I was trying to think of his name. Yeah, he fucking threatened a girl on the internet over because he said that he's always in VM because he has like his medical test. And Zebras said to him that yeah, I know Zebras is a girl. I was saying him as an LPS. Zebras I don't remember even what she said. I think she just called him out on his bullshit. And he like threatened to sue her. And he got so much shit for it he deleted. Like after a straight week of people shitting on him. And people actually, I remember, petitioned Alex because to get him to delete, or to ban him, which I thought was a bit overkill because he was threatening to sue and something like that makes PNW look bad. Anyway, so after he got shat on for like a solid week, he just deleted, which was fucking stupid. Like the entire situation was stupid, but like I don't understand why you would care so much about some random opinions on the internet that them calling you out on bullshit or over real life medical tests, whatever the fuck he was claiming at the time, mattered so much that you would threaten to sue a girl on the well, okay, doesn't matter that it's a girl, just anyone threaten to sue anyone on the internet, and not only that, but expect anyone to take you seriously. Like I don't even understand that. Like, not getting into it, but people have threatened to sue Alex because he banned them from multis or something like that. I'm not going to get into specifics, but I don't understand what goes through these people's head. Like, do they honest to God think anyone gives a shit? Or like, what are they going to do? Attorney, this guy, I had a nation in this game. I was playing this game and I broke the rules and he deleted my account so I can't play anymore. I want to sue him. I want to sue him for $1 million. I'm being oppressed. Like, what the fuck? What's going through these people's heads? They think anyone gives, like, oh my god, like as if anyone not only gives a shit but isn't going to make fun of them. Like, I think honestly these are just dumbasses. Like, I'm torn between these being kids that don't understand how the world works, that they're maybe boomers, like, but kids that see their parents say dumb shit like that and don't understand that everyone ignores them because they know how stupid they sound, or actual adults that are fucking stupid. I don't understand that. And yeah, it's it's probably a mix. Probably 50-50. Kids imitating bad examples of the parents and parents or adults being dumb fucks. Middle schoolers is also good. Like, what is it? Alex claims that the average age is 19. I don't think that. Let's be honest. There's no way the average player age is 18 or 19. But no way. They're just lying.
So
I don't remember. It was like
for you and then I actually went to unmute Kev and I think he wanted to talk to you some if you're down for that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my first question is, why are you no longer in UPN? What happened there?
All right, so I don't know the full story personally because they didn't care to actually tell me why, but half the issue was I don't like recruiting. I feel like it's a waste of time because you get so many people who don't, they just kind of join, they take aid money and then quit, or they just don't, they play and at their first war they just realize, I don't like building up a nation for 3 months to get beat down, even though fighting is literally the only thing to do in this game. Like, there's nothing else to do. The economy, yeah, that's nice, but that ain't the game. It's fighting. So you're just wasting your money in the hopes that they are useful in the future rather than focusing on the people that are already there and are clearly already useful. And on top of that, let's be honest, the latest change really favors Wales. Yeah. In the politics are kind of meh in this game too, Grave. But yeah, if you're playing this game and you don't fight or don't want to fight, I don't see why you're playing this game. Because even the politics are just setting up. You're just moving chess pieces to set up the next war. That's it. No one's playing politics. Okay. Some people, I'm sure, are playing politics to stay out of war, but those people don't usually last long in this game once they realize their mistake and get ruled.
So I'm sorry, maybe I zoned out at some point.
Okay.
What does recruiting have to do? Okay, go on.
Yeah, okay, so basically UPN wanted to change the internals and start recruiting, and I vehemently disagreed, we'll say, and thought it was a dumb plan. We were wasting our time, yada, yada, yada. And you got to understand, UPN, like I said earlier, has been around since 2007. We're all old fucks. I'm 25, and I'm like middle-aged in that alliance. We got people that is like 40-something. And so any sort of internal drama is a no-no, because we're not kids. We don't like dealing with that. And so I went too far with my critiques of the changes, I guess you could say. Yeah, we like I said, like Sphinx says, I don't really care to recruit. We've had a recruitment bot for 4 years now. We actually had one that we got from MPO. It sucked. We didn't use it. Then I think Matt made one, and then we never used it because recruitment's dumb. And then anyway, so like I was saying, internal drama, very bad. I broke the worst thing you can possibly do in an older established alliance, and created drama. And drama is very bad for UPN.
And so this disagreement happened. You were kicked.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, you could say I was unceremoniously removed.
So why was you kicked from the alliance instead of like demoted to a member then?
I don't know for sure. I have my suspicions, but I'm not going to publicly out people, especially when they're in here. No, I'm not going to, because it looks bad. And I don't think it was entirely UPN's idea.
Okay. Well, I will respect your wishes to disclose what you want to or not, but just on the surface, that sounds unreasonable to have been removed from the alliance over disagreement. Like, if there was such a disagreement in KT, I would think so. Well, you've been what, second in command over there for how many years? To just remove you over internal political disagreements, that does seem silly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would think you would have been wronged, and to me, if I was in that position, I think I probably would talk about it, unless there was some greater political implications, which there could be. Again, it's up to you, but it would make sense to me to disclose what's happening.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't actually have an official reason, because I'm basically just guessing. Also, I guess because also I kind of started doing what I wanted during the war, and because Matt was busy in real life, and he's been busy since the Corona hit because of his job. And I can understand why a leader would not like the second in command essentially doing whatever they want without any consultation. But it's kind of his fault for not being around for me to consult.
Okay. So I want to move on to. I actually have 3 questions, and I got 2 left. My second one. It seems like the syndicate are the people who seem to have it out for you the most, and why is that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so during the war, during the peace conferences, I got frustrated with Partisan. I'm not gonna lie, and I said some dumb things. I called him a sociopath, which was not good. And I also, I'll just quote myself. I said he literally politicized someone's death, which was awful, and I literally apologized less than a minute after I said it, because I realized right after I posted it, holy fuck, how could I have said something like that? And I tried, and Partisan told me to go fuck myself, and refused to accept my apology. Rolled me as well. That was recently. And I totally get that. I said some things, and I feel like there's honestly, I've tried. I've apologized. He didn't want to accept my apology. I've gotten rolled. I don't see what else I can do. I've actually asked his allies, because I do have friends in his sphere, and they don't know. They said there's nothing I could do. And I guess that's fair enough, but at the same time, he's been claiming that or his claim was that the last war was fought for the right to play, and it seems, I don't know, hypocritical to then deny me that. And I guess Kev wants to talk, so.
Yeah, so you said, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Wonderful. So you said you're not sure what else you can do, right? I have a couple ideas. Have you asked? Have you asked what you can do?
I did. He said, and I can't quote because the topic's been deleted. It was a private conversation with several other people. He said that if I wanted to truly apologize, I should have done it differently. I should have DM'd him and apologized that way, and that time has passed, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. So something you could do is you could create a forum post, open yourself up for public ridicule, so that way, like, people know about the situation. You could step down from moderation in that same post, and you could say, "Hey, these are the things I did. It was really dumb. I said it out of like emotion. It was stupid. It was immature. Really sorry. I don't mean to demean anyone's out of character, whatever, or imply that someone else is a POS out of character when it's not a thing. And I just said it out of emotion. I'm really sorry." And that's all I have to say about that. Hopefully, in time, you can learn to forgive me. That kind of situation. I bet you that would fly over pretty well.
I would do that if Partisan asked me to, but he never did. He just told me there's nothing I could do.
But then if someone's asking you, it's like if I upset my wife, if she's asking me to apologize, is that really me apologizing, or is that just me like?
Well, he didn't
what she wants to hear.
ask me to apologize originally. I apologized, but he said the way I apologized wasn't good. It wasn't. It was in a public chat, so there were other people there that saw me apologize.
It was like kind of one of those like, yeah, I'm sorry, but kind of apologies. Like, I've seen the logs on that, but regardless, I mean, that it definitely. I think it was coupled with everything too, because I mean, generally in character, out of character, whatever you want to, whatever you want to call it. But like, apologies for my language, but even like a big old asshat, like as far as your in character persona, out of character, whatever you want to call it, like as far as
I'm definitely an asshole. I've never denied that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I fucked up. I never should have said what I said. And if he doesn't want to accept my apology, I understand that completely.
Well, so I mean, I don't know. I just figured I'd chime in there because you're like, I don't know what to do. So, and I, here's a potential option. Maybe I don't know. Just wanted to throw that out there as a softball or maybe a fastball. I'm not sure how easy that would be. Probably not super easy to do, or it wouldn't be 100% effective. Not sure, but regardless, there you go. So, and then on top of that, I did have some other questions, but I don't want to interrupt anymore in case Thalmor had more questions or you wanted to go over anything else.
Actually, I'm done, Cav. You can carry this forward.
Okay, so you're talking about not wanting anyone to delete. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, for someone that was actually in the peace negotiation chats early on and later on and in the middle, etc. I mean, your behavior sure as heck didn't replicate what you just said, or didn't display what you just said. So we could tell early on that was the game plan, right? That the whole keep them pinned until deletion, like just keep them pinned. And the whole negotiations thing was all BS as well. Like we were trying to piece out. We were trying to actually move forward with negotiations, and the whole spin and how that was spun. And your way of when you're in the talks being asshat, right? Like being a jerk and trying to shut everything down to delay the war, so that way the mission of deleting the alliances can come true. So if you're saying you weren't for it, what, you're just like a prison guard, like at like, oh, I don't know, just following orders, sir. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, how could you say you weren't for it? You were never for it, even though you're like instrumental and you were the talking piece for it. Like, come on.
Instrumental and talking piece.
You were the talking piece. Yeah, you were an instrument in it because you were the one that we were dealing with most of the time, because Rock and Leo refused to be a part of it, and so they used you and Sphinx. Sphinx was more like, he was more like, yeah, like this is kind of what we think. Also to the side, he's like, I don't know, guys, like they're kind of being assholes, but gee whiz. Meanwhile, you were just being full on asshole, owning it, loving it, just yum num 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 num. It seemed like you were just enjoying the meal.
Again, I never said I wasn't an asshole. And I got to admit, I was honestly frustrated with the things that I'm not gonna lie, I drunk some of the IQ Kool-Aid, and so that was a mistake. I fully believed that, not you personally, Chaos as I didn't care about. I thought I actually wanted to support Chaos before the war. But that KT would, or not KT, Ketog really did want to burn us. Because before then, Ketog had fought a 69-day war as the losers, and were fine with it. They also, some of my chats with some of them, when they hit Chaos, that they wanted Chaos to burn for a long time. And the only reason the war with Chaos stopped was because of the TCW leaks. And so I was quite worried about Ketog, and I admittedly drank too much Kool-Aid.
So, yeah. Do you wish to like backpedal or backtrack on what you're saying with like, oh, I didn't want anyone to delete? I didn't actually like IQ.
Want to delete, but I was an asshole because I felt that they were being assholes as well.
But you also knew IQ wanted people to delete, and you were still drinking the IQ.
I said I didn't believe them. It was a mistake of judgment. I thought they were joking because it didn't make sense to me. You can't. The only thing I care about is fighting. I don't think there's a game beyond attacking people, not attacking people. So people wanting people to delete so that there isn't a war is, in my eyes, a joke, because it doesn't make any sense to me when again, I think the game only is fighting. There's economy, yeah, but it's not the only economy exists to serve the war machine. Infra exists to build the slots, to build the resources to fight. So my mind in this game is essentially fight, fight, fight. People deleting so you can't fight them anymore does not make any rational sense to me. I salt the earth, yeah, I guess. Make them pay reps, make them apologize for what they did. That makes sense because they're still going to be around for the next war. You still get to fight again, still get to play the game, but anything beyond that does not make sense to me. And so I never really considered it as anything more than a stupid joke, anything more than other people calling someone a Nazi is just a stupid comment.
I want to ask a question about some of the reps thing. Whose idea was it about, like, one of the terms that was presented was on KT to basically pay back the Teutonic Orders' bank from years ago. Whose idea was that?
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the peace terms. Okay, so the peace terms, that was mostly my fault, admittedly, because I butted in and tried taking control of them, and I didn't take as much control as I should have. But because like that term in particular was an issue because originally the idea was that term was in there because KT would never accept a 6-month map, and Polaris basically said that we would not peace unless there's a 6-month nap in place. And so our guess was that after what was the war? What is it called?
Nightfall.
The war before Nightfall. No, before Nightfall.
69 or the one with Abbas, the one that he was
Yeah, Abbas. Yeah, when they hit. There was
I'm blanking on it too.
Trail of Tears?
Islamic.
No.
Islam.
Islamic.
Is it Islamic Crusade? Okay. I think it was that. Yeah. So after that war, everyone basically shit on it. Like Burr and Sketchy and everyone from TGA shit on the 6-month nap. And everyone in TKR shit on the 6-month nap. And plenty of people who weren't in the war and could have and didn't like the idea of 6-month nap could have done something, like intervened. I don't know. But they don't really get a say if they don't participate. They shit on it. So there was a real worry that if we didn't have terms that we could drop, that there wouldn't be anything. They would try negotiating us down. If we started with 6 months, there wouldn't be anything for us. If our terms had nothing that we didn't give a shit about and could just throw away in order to get the 6-month nap, we thought that we wouldn't get it. And there's also the issue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Oh, no. And also, IQ is really pissed because I took that logic and I decided to write, what if I did 9-month or 1-year naps? And that's what I wrote in. Because I figured, well, what are they're going to negotiate down anyways. Let's add some more months and see what happens. Maybe we can get the 6-month nap outright. Okay. And, okay, that's my piece.
Sure. So there's a couple things where I can tell that's but also let me back up just because I think some people have, like, some of the older players like you, me, some of the players from like Cyber Nations, like there is an in character and out of character thing for a lot of different people, especially the people that play this game as like with organizing wars, etc. And I think a lot of people on this game maybe don't do that. And so I just want to clarify something really quick too. So out of character, dude, whatever. Hi, like whatever. And out of character, the only issue I would have is like, dude, whoa, with the syndicate thing, that was handled pretty poorly. And I was offering that advice as like, that was earnest, Kev, to Under, like, here's an idea. Okay, aside from that, this is in character stuff, talking about the war, like NPO thing, they cheated, etc. No bueno. As far as wars and stuff, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like sometimes there being a bad guy isn't a bad thing. Whatever. Who cares? Okay, I just wanted to throw that out as a disclaimer because I feel like some people maybe take this game too personally sometimes.
Absolutely.
Anywho, all right. Now reeling it back into the in character stuff. I'm gonna call bullshit on a couple of your points there.
Okay.
Polaris is not gonna hold up negotiations for IQ. That's a bunch of bullcrap. They look at Daddy NPO. For those of you who don't know, new Polar Order is Polaris. That's New Pacific Order. Like they are an offshoot of NPO of New Pacific Order. I mean, they follow their every single command. Like that's just. I mean, like there's so many logs you could throw out there. So for them to say they held it up, quote unquote, I know that's not true. Not only just by logic of Polaris being Polaris, or Polaris, but also Arrow. I worked with Arrow. We were talking about forming an alliance because we were trying to figure out ways of being able to pull people from the other coalition, from IQ's coalition, because he didn't like how things were going down either, and he was Polaris's main FA person. So I know what you're saying is not true. I know they wanted a 6-month nap. I know but they're not going to hold it up. They're not going to hold up the whole operation at that point. They didn't have that kind of pull. Like so.
Okay.
I know that's point number one. That's BS.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to say Arrow came in after. This was Queen Phoenix's idea, and Arrow just inherited it and just went with it, as far as I know.
Even then, like Polaris does not have that kind of pull. Like that's a fact. That's undisputable. They do not have that kind of pull. So for you to put that out there, I know that's BS. Point number 2, you're talking about like, yeah, I kind of hijacked the peace talks, and like we just wanted some bargaining chips. That's some bullcrap, man. Like, and that's not how you sound. That wasn't that. I'm just making fun of the ridiculous of the point.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the bargaining chip thing. That's BS because you had us. We will not discuss point number 2 until point number 1 is accepted. That's how the bargaining went. So that's some bullshit. BS. So that's not. No, that was not bargaining chips. That was holding us down to continue eternal war. Just saying.
So the issue was some terms. There was like a leak or whatever. I think when we were organizing our terms, I think you saw. After that leak, NPO suggested that we should do treaty terms like real life terms, and I guess in real life you do the entire document and do one by one, but a lot of the terms were already like written, and that was honestly stupid, but we still some reason believed we could still use as bargaining chips, and I'll admit that it doesn't make sense, and I couldn't really do much about it because NPO wanted to do that. They thought it was a great idea, and at that point there's not much I can do about it, or anyone, because if NPO wants to do something, that means BK supports them, GOG supports them, and anyone else can get fucked because they're the ones that are holding down the nations and really doing most of the legwork. And you're essentially have to do what they say. So even though we did, yes, write those terms, there's plenty of logs of me telling people to just throw in reps because you're not going to get them anyway, but we can drop them for some of the better meme terms that we like. Like there was a term that's technically a rep for KT, which was they had to send, I think, one food 1,800 and something times to celebrate Communist Manifesto or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was 1848 or something like that. Yeah. It was funny, and I didn't think they would get it, but hey, maybe we could drop some other terms or something, get that, because that's a meme term. No one gives a shit. They'd probably not do it 1,800 times. They'd probably send it 1,840 whatever food one time because that's just fucking excessive. 1,800 clicks. No one's gonna do that. But it was basically a meme term, even though I think it was under the rep section because it had transfers. That was this dumb argument about what actually constitutes in what section. That was so fucking stupid. That anyway, so yes, and oh yeah, feed the children in Africa. I remember something like that. Yeah, I remember Roz did that too. Yeah, so I guess there's actually precedent for that, huh? Anyway, so yeah, so essentially after I basically told people to write whatever terms they want. If they add reps, add a 0 at the end, because you're not going to get any reps anyway, because this is KT and TKR, and they're not going to pay a penny, but we can drop them for something better. If you're lucky, you'll get 10% of what you asked for, but you're probably not going to get that anyway. But we can probably get the meme terms, and dropping the reps terms make us seem nice and friendly and negotiable, because during Nightfall, everyone agreed that the issue with TKR and TCW and Guardian not surrendering was because we made the terms non-negotiable. So by having all these big terms and then dropping them for other terms, it makes us look nice, and we can seem reasonable by comparison to Nightfall.
So my question then is, okay, so I'm trying to think. Remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I mean, oh my gosh, dude, can you believe it's almost been a year? Or it's been over a year. Holy smokes. Anyway,
yeah.
Do you remember the first round of peace negotiations? It was, you have to accept our offer, otherwise we will delay it for a month. And you did that like 3 times in a row. You have to accept this offer, otherwise we'll delay.
No, it wasn't an offer. We just wanted you to admit surrender.
That's what I'm saying. Admit surrender. But however, you also know by admitting surrender, that also hurts our position. I mean, like, that's a fact. Like, that was the whole point of it, right? Admitting surrender. But we were wanting to negotiate whatever your terms were, so that way it could be fair, et cetera. See where you guys were at, whatever the case may be. But you kept putting this out there. You have to admit surrender, otherwise we're not going to negotiate. And then I think the second or third month we did it. We admitted surrender on the forums, but you guys weren't expecting that. And then you're like, oh geez. And then there's even logs on that was leaked. Like, like you didn't know what to do at that point because you wanted the war to keep going.
We wanted to roll TS a bit longer.
Well, actually, I lost my train of thought. I shouldn't have had that second beer.
There was no So when that happened, we had never actually written terms, because the entire war server was a Milcom server.
Mm-hmm.
FA was explicitly denied, because the worst thing you can have during the war is FA trying to do their jobs.
You guys actually said you had terms and that you would reveal them once we surrender. So that was a lie then too, and we knew it was, but whatever. But as far as the surrender thing, we did the surrender. And then it was delayed. And we're like, all right, what's the thing? And then we even agreed to a nap. We agreed to surrender, and we agreed to do a nap. Like, that was okay. We were okay with that. And so the other things, I mean, like, it was so self-evident on what was going on. And the thing that's hard for me to believe is that you're saying, oh, well, that's just what they wanted to do. I didn't want to get rolled. I thought they were joking, etc. For me, it's kind of hard to believe based on how everything went down. Because I mean, I was in those conversations when it was just Sphinx, you, and Key Guys and me, or whatever, or So for me, for you saying that, I feel like that's not either the complete picture or that's disingenuous. So I feel like maybe there was a little bit of like LOL, like IQ sipping the juice, which you said you were already doing, and then like, all right, this is getting too much. But now I'm in a position where I can't get out. Is that what you're saying you were in? Like,
yeah, basically, because originally when you guys, I'm fairly certain I said that we didn't actually have any terms. I don't know if anyone else said that, but I'm pretty sure I said that we'll write the terms after you agree that you lost the war, because at that point, actually pretty much the entire war, TGH was saying that that TGH, your side, won the war, that we should get a white piece because the stats say that they won, etc., etc. And that really pissed off IQ. I can promise you that. That was, I mean, it was great trolling. It was amazing. I can't believe IQ got that pissy over that. Admittedly, it was honestly hilarious to watch IQ get pissy over that. That was the second best thing until KT decided to fuck off. That was probably the most pissy I saw IQ the entire war.
When KT decided to go on their own?
Well, no, not that, but the entire process. Because when did they announce it? They announced it like a month before they acted, I think.
Was it like November?
It was end of December. It was either beginning of December, end of November. But I remember because there was basically your side was saying, well, we should get through this. It'll end faster, or KT will leave. And IQ was saying, no, KT leaving. If KT leaves, we walk too, because KT is your problem. You keep your coalition line. We'll keep ours, etc., etc. And anyway, so during the process, I think a change in one of the terms was suggested, and you guys or your coalition said, okay, well, let's talk it over. And then after a week, IQ pinged you because they admittedly were very worried about KT, despite what they said. They didn't want another terminate jest hitting them for the entirety of the nap. They were really annoyed by that and the threat that it posed. And you guys said that it was a holiday coming up. They need more time. Anyway, so after another week passes, and eventually they got back. And I don't remember who said it. It was fucking hilarious, though. They said, well, because they said, someone said, well, we should hurry up because KT is about to leave. You know, maybe we could just end with the nap and call it a day. And fucking IQ got so fucking livid. They damn near walked out. It was it was great trolling. Fucking GOG actually walked out over that. NPO and BK almost did too. GOG Seeker basically left the fucking peace talks, I think, for the rest. He's like, well, they don't want a peace. They're being fucking assholes about it, holding KT. Well, I'll just leave. There's no point for us being here. And he would have peaced with IQ, but it was hilarious because, oh man, it was great trolling. I loved it. I don't remember who said it. I think it was actually, I think I don't have the logs because, yeah, you know what happened. Sphinx here might have it.
It might have been Kigaz.
No,
Kigaz was in. No, Kigaz left.
No, he was the rep. He became the rep for TKR after he left.
Yeah.
I have to admit, Kigaz was actually the most reasonable person in the entire peace talks, or on your side. Our side, the micros probably were the most reasonable because they're micros. Kigaz was actually surprisingly reasonable. I thought he was going to be a dick, and he wasn't. I gotta say, if he was handling the peace talks, it probably would have ended very fast. But yeah,
no, they wanted to delete the alliances.
Okay, at the time I said that because I thought it was true. I even said it on our private servers or the private in the peace talk servers because it was Kigaz always kind of acted like a dick in public, but I guess he was actually really good.
No, he's pretty he's a reasonable dude.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. It was great trolling. I don't think it was Kigaz because, like I said, Kigaz is pretty great throughout. But yeah, it was hilarious. I don't think anyone in that server noticed, but I think someone in the other server, because we split up the servers because we didn't want you negotiating together for some dumb reason. I don't remember. I don't know why IQ wanted to do that. Anyway, so yeah, someone else noticed that. It's like, it seems to be that Geo Seeker is gone. Is there another representative for GOG going? And IQ snapped, you don't need Seeker will come back when he's needed or something bullshit like that. I don't remember. It was great.
Yeah. I remember like Kuru also went off the handle at one point. I remember in that server. Like Seeker blew up, Kuru blew up. Rock never said anything. At least not in that server, right? I think it was Kashav was the only one.
Rock, I don't think was really doing any of the negotiation. Yeah, Rock, I think was busy in real life or something. He was kind of gone near the end of the war. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, as far as the frustration with UPN and with you, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but the main reason of UPN, the frustration towards UPN is you. I mean, that's because you were UPN for a long time. And then the frustration with UPN is that they allowed you to do what you did just throughout the years as far as how you handled things, and the trolling and stuff, which, again, in character, whatever, I don't care, like, out of character. I don't care. In character, you bastard, right? But but with that said, I think the main beef, like it's coupled, like that's there, that foundation is there. The main beef comes from that one situation, and I don't know if it matters to you. I know you've already tried. I mean, like Partisan is actually a reasonable dude. Like he'll listen if you're like coming to him in earnest.
Also half the issue is that I was also kind of pissed about Rolo's comments about me and my mother, and if Partisan, because I didn't apologize for calling him a sociopath because it seemed that that was a pretty light term compared to what Rolo said about me, and the issue I had was that rules for thee, not for me kind of situation. If I don't care if Rolo apologized, but Partisan, if he could condemn it, or if anyone really condemned what Rolo said, then yeah, I probably would have apologized for the sociopath, but I kind of made a position on that, and it bothers me that no one seems to give a shit that when other people are toxic. But
I guess it's the precedent that was the set, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Personally, I think it's not so much about what other people do; it's about what we can do, right?
Yes, I agree.
It's not what we can't do; it's what we can do. So I don't know. Anyway, I think that horse has been already, it's already dead. So I'm not going to beat it anymore. But I just wanted to touch on those things, and I still kind of think you're full of crap as far as like you saying Polaris held up peace. I think that's
no.
Polaris
was threatening to hold up peace, and
okay,
no one. I know. Realistically,
Pantheon who came in and said they were going to hold up peace.
Listen, I'm pretty sure if push came to shove, IQ would tell them to fuck off. Like, let's be honest. I don't think IQ really cared about anything but themselves. But Polaris was adamant about this, and like the Queen. No, it's not Queen. WSX Phoenix. I'm mixing her up with someone. Anyway, she was was hell bent on making sure there was a 6-month nap and said basically anything to get that.
Like,
I don't think
doesn't matter. Those are just words. It'd be like Furwolf talking about alliances or like how corrupt Children of the Light is. Like no one, you just skim past it. Like it doesn't do anything. Like I mean, even though she might have been hell bent about it, but
every time that, because even like all the reps terms were pretty bad, but that one was like really stupid, and every time people would complain about, she would always go, "We get 6-month nap and we'll drop it." Basically, is how it went, and it was, well, we'll see what happens then, because we weren't. The entire situation was, you have to defend your own positions mostly. IQ, if they wanted something, they would defend it. If you wanted something, you'd defend it, and we all knew Polaris wasn't gonna defend that. They would, and none of us would defend it for them, and it was well known. They just won the 6-month nap, and we want to make them happy, you could say.
I mean, I don't know, man. That's just anything that has to do with Polaris is just words. But like at the end of the day, as far as the other stuff goes, I kind of give you my 2 cents. I would, if any of that interests you, I would float that past Syndicate, because that's the community that definitely, I mean, like that was insulted on that, and take it for what it is. But that's, anyway, it's not my place to tell you obviously what to do to make it right. It's just a suggestion, just what I would do personally. But anywho, best wishes on figuring your stuff out. And that's all I have. Thalmor?
I'm pretty much done myself. I was going to give it to the audience, then close it out if that was going to be it.
Fuck, I've been talking for like an hour and 15 minutes. This is more time than I've spent like since the war ended on anything in this game.
About an hour and a half. You've been a good guest, though.
Have I?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy if you're happy.
Well, that's good.
And
you
I guess
don't sound happy. You sound tired.
Yeah, I don't really have work, but I don't really change my schedule. Why would I apply to KT? KT won't be a legitimate alliance until Thalmor gets leader again, because he's the creator. Let's be honest. He's the best leader KT's ever had.
Well, I don't know about that one.
You're great. Yeah, I loved you. I thought you were great. I mean, the Pantheon thing was Pantheon thing I thought was hilarious. Probably wasn't great in general, but it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
If it was just the Pantheon thing, it would have been fine. But my whole FA was just a mess because I didn't know anything about anything.
Dude, I mean, let's be honest. No one knows anything about anything. Like,
yeah. Okay, I'll accept that.
So,
the optimal situation with Giga is like the best way KT could have played out would be I would be leader, but just a figurehead, and I would play cheerleader, and that would be it. Giga's do FA, Theo do Econ, Vlad do IA or whatever, and then that would pretty much be that would have been best. And then someone does second in command stuff. That could have lasted indefinitely.
And then Horsecock is Milcom?
I couldn't still. Horsecock was I kicked him out by the time I resigned. He came back months later. He was brought back, so that's why I'm not mentioning him. But yeah, I mean that would be a dream team. I'm leader, someone second in command, Theo Econ, Kigos FA, Horsecock.
So
Milcom,
basically, you're
Theo's
saying
IA.
that the best leader is the one that does fucking nothing.
Yes.
That's
Children of the Light
not entirely wrong. Here's the whole point about being leader. Leader is the second best job because you don't have to do anything. You have the responsibility, but you get to appoint people to do all your work for you, and all you do have to do is yell at them. That's basically it.
The question is, what exactly is the role of the leader? And not just with politics and war alliances, this seems to apply in real life as well. The role of a leader seems to be good at managing the actual decision makers and make strategic decisions, and that's it. And yeah, I could have just been the cheerleader to keep everyone happy and made sure and keep the four actual people in charge from fighting, and that would have been great. That would have been the best outcome.
Yep. Yeah, the second best job is cabinet advisor, I think, because that one you have no responsibilities, you have nothing to do. All you have to do is log in once a month, yell at whoever is currently doing a job, say that they're doing it wrong, and they should do it differently. And you're basically doing your job. That's your entire job as cabinet advisor, which is just complain, essentially.
I've never heard of cabinet advisor, but that sounds exactly just the name sounds like
the advisor. What people have no responsibility except complain, essentially.
TKR has the best cabinet advisors in the games. Period. It's all the old leaders, basically, is my understanding on how that. You know what I mean? It's basically either second in command could also kind of fill that role, right? Where you can make all the decisions, but none of the responsibilities falls on you. It depends on how you.
Are we talking about cabinet advisors?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Cabinet advisors, no. They have no responsibilities. That's the beauty of it. They get to bitch, but they don't actually have to change anything. So it doesn't matter what happens. They just can always complain, and they're never on the hook for fixing things. It's perfect because when the government complains about something, a leader tells them, "Okay, then go fucking fix it if you don't like it." But when cabinet advisor complains, "Okay, well, we'll try to get on that. I'll put my best man on it." It's a perfect job.
Isn't that kind of like second in command though too? Because you're not actually the one on the hook for anything. You're just the helper, kind of, right? But you have a lot of sway and so you can do that kind of role.
But you have an actual role. Like your role is to actually pick up.
Actually exist. Oh.
Yeah, pick up the slack and do things from time to time. Like if a government disappears, the second in command has to take over. Cabinet advisor never has to do that. They're never expected to do anything.
It's pretty strong.
Oh, okay. They're expected to. Cabinet advisor, no one expects anything from them except bitching. It's the perfect job. And that's the job I had when UPN first came over, because I didn't want to get involved in any of this stuff. And I somehow got roped into doing other jobs. And that was a mistake. I should have kept my cushy job of just bitching all the time. That's the perfect job. It's like grumpy old bastards role in every alliance.
Hey, real quick, just because Sphinx is spewing this, dude. Even if Kiru says that, admits it, quote unquote, it's not admitting anything. That's just using a narrative to further their position to try to have permanent war. I mean, like that Polar doesn't actually hold any sway. It's not because Polar won it. That's not why they're holding it up. They're holding it up for their own selfish reasons. They're just using that as a reason. It doesn't matter if it's an internal channel. That's just that. Then that's trying to hold people in line so they don't just come right out and say, "Hey, we want permanent war" or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like Polar is not going to be the one holding that up. It is public. It's a narrative that they have to the people in Coalition B that ended up. I mean, like so many people split, right? And they're trying to hold people in. So it was a narrative. But anyway, I was just responding to Sphinx.
As far as I know, I think no one's ever cared about bringing it up. I don't think it's a public narrative because like I said, I've basically not done anything. I've done one thing since the war ended, which was piss off Rose. Apparently, I guess they don't like me again. Which isn't that surprising since we're former enemies become former friends, from former enemies became former friends, became former enemies, became former friends, and now we're kind of enemies again. Or I guess not, because I'm not UPN anymore.
Didn't you guys betray Rose? Like, didn't they take you in at one point and then you guys attacked them or whatever?
Oh no, you're talking about Islamic. No, we didn't really attack them. That's another fun story. So at the time, Rose essentially, I wouldn't say it was part of Terminal Jest, but had members participate, especially Oblivion, which technically are a different alliance. Anyway, so I actually went on a limb and because Terminal Jest basically fled the second like IQ actually bared down on them and because they basically suicide into IQ for lols. And so I got a bass over to UPN and safe, since we were friends kind of at the time. Then he stayed for a month. Then he didn't rebuild, which I admittedly should have raised red flags, but anyway, it didn't. Then he went to Rose to essentially, and I guess the entire time he was in UPN, he was planning a fucking war against IQ and also Acadia, which basically was our problem, that they were planning a war on our fucking partner Acadia, which was no bueno. And they also, not only that, they didn't really need Oblivion, but they also brought in Oblivion members. And I asked them, well, these are Oblivion. Like, I know how shit works. They're not really Rose members. Can you remove them? Because they're basically ghosting, and everyone knows this. They said, well, we can remove some of them, but can't remove all of them because it would harm our war effort. We were also pissed about them attacking Acadia again. And also, there was also the issue of Abbas, or what was it? Or basically, when the war started, Abbas, after he hit, asked us to not participate and help Acadia, which again pissed us off. And he also went and got the entire coalition at my asking to promise not to hit us. And not even 3 hours after that happened, and they all said, okay, we won't hit UPN, you're good. Fucking Warham comes to me and starts threatening, saying, "Hey, we heard from BK that you're actually planning to join the war, so you better not, because we're gonna beat you down," and blah blah blah. He starts threatening me, and that pissed me the fuck off, because at that point we hate BK. I hate BK because they're fucking assholes, and I never really warmed up to them ever, because Kuro was always a dick, and Leo can't for the life of him do anything useful. And that also pissed off the rest of Gov, because we got a guarantee that we're not going to get hit. And then immediately they're turning back on their word. And so we went to war, but I stopped them from hitting Rose because that would be an issue. And we technically had 72 hours, and I negotiated, we won't actually fight Rose, we'll fight everyone else, which was a really good idea because IQ basically fought them on their own, and I sent a limited amount of guys to fight Rose, the Oblivion guy specifically, since that was the issue, and IQ weren't very happy about that, because I love Acadia, and I was pissed that Rose essentially stabbed us in the back and betrayed our trust. At the same time, they're still our allies, or they were our allies, and I feel I'm not capable of like going back on that. Like Frontier Records, they left the war, and I couldn't bring myself to order any attacks on them, because even though, yeah, they fucked us in the war by basically collapsing and splitting up, I wasn't ever going to support IQ chasing them down or hitting them myself. And so that was basically the only two alliances that, because they split up in two, there's only two alliances that we didn't hit, or UPN had standing orders not to hit. And I completely lost the train of my thought. I don't even remember what the original question was.
You seem really good at several times it's happened. I've asked you a question and you would go on this completely unrelated tangent, which it's okay, because it's you're saying interesting stuff, but yeah, you get off track.
Yeah, easily. I think it's when related things come up, I just follow the train. I'm not very good at staying on topic, I guess. Because it's like, well, it's related to what I'm saying, so let's just keep going. And then at some point, I just forget what the fuck I'm talking about. It's an issue, I guess. I just forget the initial. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, we never really betrayed Rose. They betrayed us, I think, is the initial question, and that's the answer.
Okay. Now, I also asked earlier who was behind the KT TTO bank rep from the last war. Do you know who was behind that one?
Oh yeah, that was me.
Okay, I figured it was. I just wanted to ask, because it's like, who gives a fuck about this shit from 2 years ago? Oh.
Yeah, that was me. I did that because some of our members were from TTO, and I really didn't think you guys were going to pay or do anything but, make them happy. And I basically, and even if you did pay, I even worded it to make it, UPN was only the caretaker, former TTO guys were going to handle that. And I already, in the off chance you guys agreed to it, I already decided that it was going to be TTO people. So I would have no say in it, because it wasn't actually relevant to me besides making former TTO guys happy.
Gotcha. I think that's kind of about it for things I have to say. Audience members, listeners, if you have any questions for Under, ping him and ask them. Otherwise, I think we might be done for tonight.
Yep.
One thing I will say is I'm actually disappointed in Leopold right now, because it's the TS people who seem to advocate against you the hardest, and now here's a neutral platform they can come on and really expose you or whatever, really show the errors of your way, and they just haven't. They've just fucked off.
To be fair, I think I kind of took the wind out of their sails by literally saying what I did, which is an issue, because then they don't get to say, well, he denied it, look what he did. The only thing I ever denied was making fun of a dead person, because I didn't do that. I literally quoted what I said back then, and it's bad, but I never made fun of that person. And even Partisan, because some members of TS were saying that, and even Partisan at some point in one of my arguments with him said he never claimed that, even though he didn't seem to have a problem that his allies were claiming that, especially James, because James. You want to hear another fun story from the war?
No, hold off on that thought. It's not even that though, because like 10 minutes after you started speaking, Leopold left to go listen to Zed's thing, and you didn't take accountability until like even after that. So there's just been a refusal to engage, and I think
it's because
if they have so much against you, they should be here and they should show it, and they just haven't.
Well, part of it is also I'm a walking CB, and let's be honest, they're kind of have a hegemony going. Like they're what they're like over 3 million combined score at this point. They're larger than basically everything besides I think they're almost as large as the rest of the game combined. If one side switches sides, if Rose switches sides, if Swamp, Hedge, TCW, any of them switch sides, they immediately become a game-ending hegemony. So there's no reason for them to bother with me, I think, as well, because I'm a walking CB and they get to have an excuse to roll. Because they even threatened ARG, of all people, to remove me. Like, can you imagine asking ARG? ARG ain't gonna do that. And they didn't really do anything when ARG told them to pound sand, but I'm just good politics for them, because if I join an alliance, they can threaten, and if they don't remove, they get to have power over alliances, and if they don't remove me, they get to a CB and get to roll the alliance.
As dude, someone that knows person, also kind of out of character stuff. I don't think this is politically charged. Like I could see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I really don't think that's the case.
I'm surprised literally anyone has been removed from ARG Firewolf, so congrats on probably being one of the few. Congrats. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. Either way, they already kind of did a round on me. So I guess we shall see what happens.
Hey, I've got a question for you, Under.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in this game for a long time.
Yes.
What killed UPN? Because I mean, like, even while you were there, UPN was just a shell. Like, UPN used to be a big alliance. What killed it?
Democracy. There was. Oh man. How short do I want to make this story? Do you guys want a long story or a short story? How about that?
Short story.
Short. God. Okay. Okay. Let's.
All right. Long. Everyone else is saying long. So.
Okay. So
democracy is gonna ruin tonight too. So.
Okay. So a long time ago, back in let's say 2015, UPN basically elected everything, leaders, ministers, whatever, and there was a event called Oktoberfest, or not Oktoberfest, before Oktoberfest. It was Proxy War, I think it was called. And okay, I guess Thalmor's giving me a 30-minute limit now. Anyway, so that happened, and Ol apparently said some dumb things to Partisan. And...
Wait, is this story gonna take longer than 30 minutes? Because if so, I'm out.
Okay, let me fast forward. Okay, let's do the short story. Okay, after 168, there was a lot of, I guess, I wasn't actually in UPN for this, so this is all secondhand. I was in test with Thalmor, dicking around, rolling alpha. I went inactive for a time just to fuck with Prefontaine. It's fun. There was Hands, which and the old guard, and then there was Imad and the new guard, and there was a big split over a TS treaty, ODP it was, and Imad and his government really kind of fucked it because they had the votes to push it through and make it a treaty, but they tried to be sneaky about it and go behind the backs of the rest of Gov, which caused major internal drama. And it was right around election time, and so that stopped the treaty because it pissed off the rest of Gov, who probably all but maybe one of them would have voted for the treaty, and instead they all voted against it. And then I guess the campaign for leadership was very bitter, and I think Victor was the one running because Imad resigned. He didn't want to run anymore or lead UPN, and Hans ran against him because again the TS treaty was how it was handled pissed off a lot of people, and so they lost, and the war was the election was really bitter. And then right, I guess, as it ended, the Fifth Great War broke out. I was inactive for the entire thing, and Tess didn't even participate, so it wasn't relevant. But I guess after that, a bunch of people dissatisfied, basically all the new people that we raised in Orbis, as opposed to the old guard from CN and that kind of stuff, basically up and left. Maybe a quarter of the alliance just went to form TTO. And that basically kind of sent UPN into not a good thing. And then I came over because I felt bad. And yeah, I'm sorry for your rough. I miss all the fun stuff is gone. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. And I came over and basically tried to maintain because I'm honestly too old to play this thing. Yeah, democracy sucks. Yeah, and UPN wasn't the worst democracy because we didn't have everyone vote, but you elected leaders, which sucked. ODN, yeah, I guess they were democratic. Anyway, so I only went there to just try to maintain, and I basically forced UPN to not be a mass recruitment alliance anymore because I didn't believe mass recruitment was a good idea. I never cared for it. And so we maintained our membership, but we never really grew. The only time we grew was when we had 2 mergers. One of them was TTL, and the other one was a fucking shit show. It was a bunch of multis. Well, half of them are multis, the other half were Indians, and it didn't work out. So I only kind of came to UPN to maintain it until a new gov took over, but it kind of shot me in the foot because we never recruited, so there's never really anyone new to take over. And the only reason that there is a gov now is because people have basically returned to UPN after whatever years because of the coronavirus. So I know the new FA literally is basically they're from CN, so they've been playing these games since like 2006, 2007, but they're basically new to the game.
Like Alpheus?
One of them is.
Well, Alpheus is the original creator of UPN from Cybernation.
Yeah. Alpheus literally created UPN in PNW or in CN, not PNW, and he rejoined. He's actually played before, but he quit, and he's just come back again because
he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's pretty chill. And then his wife Cora is, I guess, he convinced her to play too. So now she.
What? When did they get married?
They've always been married, I think.
No, not in CN times.
Yeah, they were. You don't.
Yes, Cora from USN or from USN.
USN.
You're
queen
well,
queen of
you're
USN.
Me.
No, there's.
Did they keep that secret for a while, or I had no idea.
I have no idea. I was in UPN, so I always kind of knew. But apparently that's why a lot of Maroon alliances didn't like UPN, because they felt that we constantly butted into their sphere.
That's wild.
And for the people that don't know, CN had colors and had something called color politics, where there was blocks based around colors. It's really dumb and it doesn't exist here, and that's good. But back then it was a big thing because we all shared colors or whatever, and so it was bad for other alliances to butt into color politics.
I mean,
and
it wasn't
purple.
No one really cared that much except for NPO at the beginning, because you were not allowed to make an alliance on red.
Yeah.
I remember.
I think they tried controlling blue with NPO before
for a minute. Well, no, because NAC
before
was there.
Polaris split.
No, well, NAC was there. NAAC was on there, and they were like one of the biggest alliances.
Yeah, they tried to. I think they were less explicit. They tried to control what the alliances there, and then Polaris split off. Polaris split off. Yeah, they were created to colonize blue. They just weren't very good at it, and then the split happened between their governments within like a year. Like,
No,
wasn't it?
No. NPO and NPO, like NPO started as like a vassal state of New Pacific Order.
But they split off after like a year or two.
There's no way it was a year. Was it a year? I feel like they were together for a few great wars, because like Electron
maybe
Sponge,
2. I know.
It might have been a couple of years.
Here's the thing. I'm basically a noob. I started playing CN in 2009, so this is a lot of this is before me. Yeah, I know. Yeah, what year did you start?
2006.
Oh, see, I'm a noob. You should know more. But I thought Polaris split after like 2 wars or something. But yeah, you might be more correct.
The first 2 years seemed like a long time though, because I was super young too. But did you know that Well, okay, never mind. I'm gonna let Thalmor end it first, I guess, then I'll offline.
Yeah, I like how we never actually took viewer questions.
Did anyone ask any questions?
No one really asked anything.
Yeah, you're not very. No one wants to ask you a question.
They don't want another 30-minute story. I can't blame them.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. I will grant 30 seconds if anyone wants to ask anything, and if there's nothing substantial, then I will play the theme and we'll go into after show. And I'm gonna go to fucking bed.
Why purple? The official reason is because in 2007, Alpheus was in a pub complaining to his friends that there was no big purple alliances, and his friends told him, then make one. That is, as far as I know, the official reason. You have to ask him for anything more.
And Alpheus is still looking for friends. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not giving you any money. If anything, I'm an ARG. You should be giving me money. Can you link your nation so I can take it? Compass. No, I'm an ARG. Sorry. And I guess that's all the questions. Yeah, there we go. See,
wait, did you make up with Ripper since you're an ARG now?
Ripper said he never actually disliked me, or he never actually hated me. So I guess I don't know. We're not fighting or anything. I guess so. That's good. I'm not raiding successfully. No, we are currently busy with ampersand being. I don't really care for raiding. I like fighting, as I said earlier. So I prefer. Oh hey, yeah. Oh no, wait, no, we're not fighting Children of the Light. Never mind.
I got some Under.
Yes.
Under, do you have that WAP?
The what?
Do you have that WAP?
I believe it was pronounced WAP.
Okay, WAP.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to see.
Yeah, it took me a second to think what.
Whole grain apple pie is what that stands for.
Whole grain apple pie. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a dumb song. I don't like it.
Me either.
The only good thing about the song was the Charlie Kirk meme about him trying to like say it but be clean, which is really fucking stupid.
Well, and fucking Ben Shapiro came out and was like,
Ben Shapiro, that's his name.
If your pussy's wet, you got vaginitis, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
then.
imagine calling yourself out like that. Like he never got his wife wet. The fuck?
Oh man! All right, that's it. I'm ending this. I need to go to sleep. Thank you, Under, for coming on. Thank you, Kev, for talking with Under. This has been a good episode. Made up for last week.
Is this better than your Sphinx episode?
No. This has been a good episode, but the one with Sketchy and Sphinx and Tarok is probably one of our best episodes.
No. I can't even make the best episode, see? I should have been more of an unredeemable asshole. That way everyone would talk about it. I'll get your ratings up.
I wish Leo would have come on and talked with you. And he just fucked off for no reason. I don't know why. If he would have come on, this probably would have been a lot better, but oh well.
It's Zig, it's not selling out my mod friends so much as not wanting to discuss moderator issues because it's not kosher.
Play a song!
Who wants me to play the song? Kev?
What?